Hey, Arcturus here. Today we're looking at the Galactic Spaceship from Lego City Space. The set has 700 pieces and builds 3 different components for a spaceship. You could attach them to any of the other Lego City Space buildings because they have the same type of attachment points, or you could assemble them into a large rocket or keep it as a smaller rocket or even a medium-sized rocket, however you prefer. So I'll go ahead and remove the box, so give the video a like on your way in, and let's take a look at the Galactic Spaceship. This set comes with 4 minifigures, which we'll look at later after we look at the spaceship, as well as one little alien, and we'll look at him later as well. So we'll start off by looking at the tiny little drone you can build for mining asteroids, of which you get 2, and these are the typical asteroids for Lego Space with some clear blue plastic, or I guess translucent plastic, pieces that run through them and have a variety of little spots. You can also put in a jewel piece or crystal piece in here. I've elected not to, but here's the interior with some nice like geode-like formations there. And the second one is identical, and I've just elected not to put that piece in the meteor, although you could if you like, and we'll see that piece momentarily. Just a small little drone here with some nice drill pieces for mining the asteroids, and a little battery piece here on the front, and using that sort of shiny purple pillar, that shiny purple piece there for the battery. Set that off to the side. Let's look at we'll look at this one next. So here's one of our components of the spaceship, kind of a storage module. It does have room on the interior, and it has this sort of sliding open top here for access. Has 2 little pieces, one here and one here, to kind of model a ladder for access, and also has a sort of control diagram there for the drone. The other side just has a hazard symbol, and you get a little wrench and intercom piece, I guess. And then the lid just kind of slides back on. You have 2 storage compartments on each side, so for 4 total. It'd help if I could open it. And that's where I've stashed the jewel piece, as if this is a mining expedition looking to collect the riches. And each compartment has one of these pieces in it. These are pretty cool, sort of shiny purple plastic here. Very nice. And those just tuck away in there. And the same is true on the other side. This set does make use of a variety of stickers, and that's what we have here and here. And these pieces can actually detach. They connect via the grabby sections, and that will become important in a moment. But for now, we'll look at the sort of science module. At least that's how I think of it. You have 2 access doors, and these can be removed and are just these clip pieces, so you could attach them to this if you wished. We'll remove the other side as well, and that technically gives you access to the interior there. But you can also remove this top piece, which is just held in by these railing sections, and then you can just sort of slide it out like that, preferably not dropping it, and you get access to the science module. Here they're studying, how plants do in outer space, as well as, what's going on with that crystal. You get this nice, very high-tech-like display that can rotate and point anywhere within here. You also have some controls here on the side, perhaps an airlock setting or something else. And then on the other side, you have a refreshment station with a pizza and some water bottles, and also a little sticker here with the sport with the fork and knife symbol, and some climate control symbols there, I guess. Some nice clear windows on this, sort of dark plastic, almost black but nice and translucent. You get some feet if this is planted on, say, a surface, if the space shuttle has dropped it down to conduct whatever research is necessary. And the lid just slides on top and is held in place with those sections there, and just kind of sits there on the desk. For our last component, we have the space shuttle. And this has our engines, some batteries here on both sides, some handholds in case somebody's outside working on, one of the wings or on the top of the space shuttle. And you can remove the top here to access the interior. It's a pretty simple interior. It has a sticker piece here, and you could, of course, fit a minifigure in there as well. And just a nice, simple interior. The other part of the interior is the cockpit, and you can easily access that. It does not fold out, it just is removed. No folding there. The cockpit does have 2 stickers with these sort of hazard stripes. And those were the hardest stickers in the set to kind of line up correctly because of all the curvature on the cockpit. You get another one of these clear sort of high-tech screens, as well as a larger seat for your minifigure and a smaller seat for your alien friend. And your little alien friend can just squeeze in there if you like, along with one of your pilots, who I will try to get to sit down. There we go. Now you have your drivers, and I'll slide him out because we'll take a closer look at those in a moment. Don't forget to subscribe and leave me a comment down below on your favorite Lego set. And if you're already subscribed, thank you. It really helps the channel out. So the wings can come out. Let me find the lid here. Put that back on. And they also just hold on with those grabby pieces. So if you prefer, you can attach your storage compartments to this instead of the wings. And then you can remove this engine piece here, as it uses that same orange connector. And then you have your engine as also able to connect. And then if you like, you can take this piece, and you do get some extra Technic pins that you can then use to attach these pieces together, giving you a larger spaceship. If you prefer, you can put the wings there, and then you can cap this off with the engine, and then you have a 2-piece spaceship. Or you can take this out and use your 2 additional Technic pins and connect this and have a much larger spaceship. And if you like, you can actually take the wings and, oops, let me separate this before I drop it, and attach them to the sides of this larger piece. Like so, and we'll roll up those feet there. And then you can attach it. Now you might be thinking just the Technic pins won't be strong enough, and you would be correct. It gives you additional little, I guess, ridged bricks, I'm not entirely sure, that you add a hazard stripe to, and you can use those, as well as 2 that do not come with a hazard stripe, to help connect all those pieces. And then you can also attach the engine block there to the back, and you have a much larger spaceship. You can reconfigure that as you wish. You can put the wings up front and then the engines on the back and storage here on the sides, however you like. Then you'll just have some extra caps for if you decide to disassemble it. So that is the spaceship. So now let's look at the minifigures. So you do get a few extra hair pieces. So here we have our first minifigure with his spacesuit with some nice tubing connections there in both the orange and the white, as well as 2 different color sleeves. And you do get a earpiece here for communications, as well as this nice helmet. I think they've also used this helmet for firefighters, but it can also work for space. And you can also give him a hairpiece if you'd like. I prefer them with the helmets personally. I think that looks more in line with space. Our next minifigure uses a more traditional space helmet. This visor does not move. It is very large, so it does fit over the whole of the face and just kind of sits there, but it is a two-piece assembly. This minifigure's head does not have the earpiece, but he has a similar type uniform, although in light blue instead of orange. And you could also give him a hairpiece as well. Put his helmet back on. For our third minifigure, we have one in green with very similar style of printing on it, just different colors, as well as the green helmet to go with it. Same. This helmet actually is a smaller visor piece than the other helmet, so it can flip up and as you wish. And this minifigure also has a hairpiece. None of these have had dual face printing so far. For our third minifigure, you have a lot more detail on this one, as this is our Space Explorer. See if I can't get that a little more in focus. There we go. Some nice gold details here on the torso, some details here on the feet for a more advanced spacesuit, as opposed to just sitting in the shuttle. And it also has a jetpack with some thrusters there, as well as that blue style helmet we saw earlier. So I'll pop that off. And this one also has a hairpiece that you can use. And you can, of course, swap any of these hairpieces as you prefer. And here is the back of the astronaut suit with some gold printing on there again, and some sort of plate style printing there, and there with the helmet. The jetpack is actually assembled from this large molded piece, and then just mildly assembled with some of those extras there. And for our last figure, last but not least, we have our alien, which has just a molded body, single parts, attaches to a single stud, but nicely printed with the LEGO Space logo, and the alien head with the 3 eyes and green there, and some slight details there on the back. The back of the alien is just white plastic. And that is our alien. So that is our Galactic Spaceship. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos. And that is all I have for this week, so I will see you in the next one.